You know what? You got to take responsible for what happened in your administration.
I, Kamala Harris, solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
That I will well and faithfully discharge.
That I will well and faithfully discharge.
The duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
The duties of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Clearly, I am not Joe Biden.
The vice president has been a critical partner to this president.
She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done.
When I think about the path that we have traveled together, Joe, I am filled with gratitude.
As vice president, there wasn't a single thing that I did that she couldn't do. And so I was able to delegate her responsibility on everything from foreign policy to domestic policy.
There is this wonderful word that has a great meaning, and it's called hypothesis.
And then also, again, what we need to do about demilitarizing our schools and taking police officers out of schools. We need to deal with the reality and speak the truth about the inequities around school discipline.
I will snatch their patent so that we will take over. And yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do that. It's the question is, do you have the will to do it? I have the will to do it.
Are undocumented immigrants that are the least likely to commit a crime.
Reports show migrant crime is making up the majority of arrests in New York City. In fact, police report as many as 75% of the people they've arrested in Midtown Manhattan for assault, robbery, and domestic violence are illegal migrants, according to the New York Post. 60% of those arrests of migrants are in Queens.
What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid.
No one's trying to scaremonger and say we're taking your guns.
We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
Gun ownership. I and Tim Walz are both gun owners. We will not take anybody's guns away.
We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
The Senate being equally divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the concurrent resolution as amended is adopted.
She cast the deciding vote to pass the American Rescue Plan, which pushed inflation, supporting all the spending that President Biden signed into law, and people are still struggling to pay bills.
Even some former Obama economists had said the American Rescue Plan has contributed to the inflation that we're seeing today.
It's definitely too big for the moment. I don't know any economist that was recommending something the size that what was done.
The tremendous wall of money just sets off a dynamic. And then the thing about inflation is you start chasing your tail.
Did it create inflation? Did $2 trillion of deficit spending create inflation?
It did boost demand, and that is one of several factors that are involved in inflation.
There are 15,000 people in Beaufort County who are food insecure, and the line of people in need seems to be growing.
Higher gas prices and rent also helped push inflation up.
Economic indicators point to extreme pain.
Microsoft is down $20, that's 5%. Alphabet, 5%. Meta, 6%. Amazon, 6%. Apple, 9%.
That is called Bidenomics. Bidenomics is working. It's a term we're very proud of, I must tell you, because Bidenomics is working.
The vice president has been a critical partner to this president.
She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet.
Jamal, I'm going to read you a quote real quick. The job of a progressive prosecutor is to look out for those overlooked, to speak up for those whose voices aren't being heard.
to see and address the causes of crime, not just their consequences, and to shine a light on the inequality and unfairness that lead to injustice. It is to recognize that not everyone needs punishment, that what many need, quite obviously, is help. Kamala Harris wrote that in her book, The Truths We Hold. Does that sound consistent with the kind of with the brand of justice that you saw administered by offices that she was running?
It definitely sounds like Kamala Harris right now as a senator. But at the time of her being the head district attorney of San Francisco, that is almost polar opposite of what I felt and what our community felt in San Francisco.
Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
She said on immigration, she made this open-ended pledge to end immigrant detention. She said she supported taxpayer-funded gender transition surgeries for detained migrants. She also said she supported
taxpayer-funded gender transition surgeries for detained migrants.
She
actually said she supported that.
She both wrote and answered in the affirmative when she was asked this. And she said she also supported it for federal prisoners. Now, she also pledged to slash immigration detention by 50%, close all family and private facilities, and decrease funding for ICE, and then end ICE detainers with local law enforcement.
And obviously not Joe Biden.
Vice President, there wasn't a single thing that I did that she couldn't do.
Are they misguided, the 50%?
Listen,
Are they stupid? What is it?
I would never say that about the American people. What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid. You got to take responsibility for what happened in your administration.